Hey everybody, we're back again, and this time we're taking a look at Ultra Magnus, Optimus Prime's brother, counterpart, and combination buddy from Robots in Disguise. Now, Ultra Magnus is a car carrier, as the original was. In this mode, he's sized just perfectly to fit any of the Autobot brothers, like Prowl here, in any position, including inside of his car carrier mode. Also, if you want to, set up a diorama or something of him loading the Autobot brothers on, you can angle that down, and they can quite literally ride it all the way up. I mean, obviously not perfectly. It doesn't, sit flush or anything, and these guys' tires aren't exactly, they don't provide the best clearance, but you get the idea. It was a nice feature. They didn't need to do it, but they did. Now, unfortunately, some of the white on this guy has yellowed over time. You can definitely see, looking at this, also some of the chrome has worn the color off, so it's just sort of silver underneath where it's supposed to be blue. But he does have that really cool gold chrome Autobot symbol on the front bumper. Always really liked that. If you look inside the windows, you can see something red in there. We'll get to that later. It's got a big honking gun up here. We'll go into more about that in the robot mode. And one other detail that he's got, which I'll show off just before we get into transformation, is inside here he's got engines. He's got good paintwork all over, back panels, tail lights, big Autobot logos. Again, those were added for the Robots in Disguise version. They were not present on the Car Robots release. The chrome's a little more chipped, but a little more brightly colored on this side. Like I said, this is a very old toy. So we'll just take this off for now. It does launch missiles. I don't have them anymore. I've got, I think, one of them in a box somewhere, but I don't know. I've got another one of these guys boxed. I could have just grabbed the missiles from that for this review, but I didn't want to open it, So to get this guy ready for transformation, you basically unclip. Wow. Come on. Oh, wow. That was on there good. Damn. Unclip that section. Fold this up for now. And that's sort of a little standalone mini vehicle mode for him. And like I said, you can see these big ass engines on the back here. This is a battery pack. Again, this guy would have had lights and sounds as well, but same deal with the other one. I didn't want to put the batteries in. So this guy does not have a core robot mode like Optimus did. He actually needs both parts of the vehicle to transform. But what we do is unpeg those, come around here, unclip them, unclip the front bumper, fold it up back there. This whole bit comes apart just so that we can kind of get some leverage in here. Rotate these pieces out. Fold this down, flip out those little things. I've seen so many people who've had this guy transformed without those flipped out. You do need them. It sort of completes the look. Close that up, peg those on, flip those around. Those fold outwards like that so that you can come in here and flip the whole unit around. Fold them back up, around, down, and that clips to there, and there's his head. I'm going to take the back section and basically unpeg everything. These are apparently supposed to sit forward in robot mode. Fold these over, peg them back on, fold these up, peg them together, fold these little back blue parts down, close those up, fold up a couple of ratchety bits there, split those apart, clip those in, and stand him at the far back, because holy shit, he's tall. So here we have Ultra Magnus, or God Magnus as he was known in Japan, and indeed as is written on his tires. In his robot mode, he actually stands just a little bit taller than Optimus Prime in his super mode. So, yeah, he's big. He's large, but he's hollow in a lot of places, and a lot of that is to do with his combination with Optimus. He's got a big hollow inside. His arms, man, these ball joints are so dead. He's got ball jointed knees, ball joint there, as well as a swivel there, so you can at least get him to still hold his gun up. Articulated finger and thumb for something else entirely. Legs can go out, legs can go up, but they don't really like to stay. Knees can bend a lot further because they're supposed to fold down into his leg. No waist swivel. He lost another tire. Head's on a ball joint, so he's got some waggle, some up, some down. And on the back, like I said, he's a particularly hollow individual because a lot of this is just, he is combiner kibble. Now the gun, like I mentioned before, is an interesting one because it's actually like a multi-function weapon. So you fold it like that, fold that over there, fold that so that the missile launchers would be facing forward if it were able to face forward. And it actually plugs into them right here and activates a different sound depending on which side it's plugged in. One side has circle pegs, one side has square pegs. If you plug it in there, it'll make beam cannon noises, or at least it would if it had the batteries in there. And if you were to plug in this side, it would make Gatling gun noises because you've got a big multi-barreled Gatling gun there. But you can also plug it into both at the same time, flip up a little targeting scope, and you can hold it by those handles. I mean, he's not really holding it by those handles, it's clipped into him. The hands are just kind of resting on the handles. He's not the best toy. He suffers a lot design-wise from his combination with other things, but on his own, he's still a pretty cool standalone toy. But hey, who wants to see a combined mode? So to begin the combination, you need Optimus Prime's base robot and Ultra Magnus. And the first thing you do, as they did it in the series, is they shake hands. So, you see right here, Magnus has pegs on his thumb that actually peg into the hands of Optimus. In the show, this would then fly apart, beginning the combination. Rotate that around, those holes there, in those there. Now Prime has one big beefy arm. And now the rest of Magnus splits apart and transforms into other pieces. I will say, these never had an actual place to clip in, so it's just sort of stick them up there, I guess. Man, them ratchet joints are still good after all these years. Okay. Now that we've got this big mangled mess in front of us, let's stick it all to Optimus Prime and put it places, shall we? So, foot in, that locks on top of that big beefy boot. Same story on this side. So now we've got giant legs, giant arms. And you ready for the final piece? We take just this giant torso armor here, and just like Prime's super mode armor, it clips in on top of his body, shrink him back down as much as it'll let us. There we go. And then for the big head reveal, okay, now he's a big one. So this is what was known in Japan as Godfire Convoy and here as Omega Prime. He is a pretty sizable combination, and he's got some great details that weren't seen before. Shoulder pads have some detail that was hidden inside of Magnus all of this time. He's actually got little Autobot symbols on his forearms. This is where all of the sacrifices that Ultra Magnus made to his robot mode come into play. This is why they're there. Now for articulation in this mode, he retains all of Optimus Prime's articulation, with the exception of new ball-jointed wrists, a movable thumb and articulated fingers, and swiveling ankles. Other than that, it's the same, but it's not really usable because as much as this guy is loaded with ratchet joints, they really never did hold this up very well. My favorite things about this are definitely the tiny wings on the back that carry over from Ultra Magnus, the golden pipes on the side of his head, the wheels on the shoulder pads, and that big kick and gold Autobot logo that was on Ultra Magnus's bumper is now part of a giant anime super robot chest plate. Fucking cool detail. Also, you can take Ultra Magnus's weapon from earlier and just mount this sucker right on top of him. Just in case somebody felt he needed more weaponry, you can kind of see it up top there. That is him rocking the firepower of Ultra Magnus. The only thing I ever found as a disappointment to this guy, aside from how ridiculously unstable he tends to be, is the fact that all of the extra bits from Optimus Prime don't really have anywhere to go. I mean, you can assemble them into the base mode. That is something you can do. But this is what you get when you combine the two of them. It's massive, it's impressive, it is super robot as fuck, and it is probably the reason I started collecting again in the first place, because it was just that cool. So thanks everybody for watching as I took a look at two things that shaped my collecting for years to come. If you liked the video, please click the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what your favorite Transformers toy is, or if you had that one figure that got you back into collecting or started you collecting in the first place. I want to hear about it. Let's get a discussion going. But as always, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time. I don't know what I'm going to be looking at then, but hopefully it's going to be something cool. And we'll see everybody then. Bye.